When outbreaks happen, one question always becomes urgent. Who has the capacity to respond rapidly, effectively, and with solutions rooted in local realities? And behind that question lies a bigger one. What does it take to develop vaccines on African soil? For many years, vaccine development has remained concentrated in only a few parts of the world, leaving much of Africa dependent on external systems in times of crisis. Yet, the continent holds strong scientific talent, growing academic institutions, expanding research networks, and a young population ready to shape the future of health innovation. At PANDEMITHON 2026, that potential came into sharper focus. Hosted in collaboration with Nnamdi Azikiwe University, the initiative brought together scientists, university leadership, students, and partners to strengthen practical capacity, deepen scientific collaboration, and advance vaccine development in Africa. PANDEMITHON 2026 is a pan-African scientific initiative responding to an urgent question. How can Africa strengthen its own capacity to develop vaccines and respond more effectively to emerging public health threats? One of its major areas of focus is egg-based vaccine development, a pathway that is both scientifically relevant and strategically important for building local capability.
So PANDEMITHON is a response to recent medical outbreaks in West Africa of the monkeypox virus. And so we have a technology at my company, AfriVax, that allows us to use ordinary eggs as a platform for making vaccines and other types of medicines that can be used to fight against disease. Over the last almost 3 decades now, I've invested time and energy into researching this technology that turns the egg into a miniature factory that you can then give a blueprint, a piece of DNA really, instructing it to manufacture an ingredient for a vaccine or an ingredient for a therapeutic or an ingredient for a diagnostic reagent. So that's for testing. So in the case of PANDEMITHON, the idea is that if we're able to come up with a vaccine that can be made in the egg, we will be able to manufacture that vaccine locally, right here where the problem is, instead of having to import a vaccine from other countries in the world where they have developed vaccines against Mpox. There are Mpox vaccines you can buy. We advertised PANDEMITHON to scientists, young scientists around all over the world really, but primarily talking about the West Africa region, and invited them to come and essentially join that process. And we have 3 workshops that we've done the first workshop, we're in the middle of the second workshop now, and we have a 3rd workshop that will come at the end. And in the first one, we just said, okay, what is the situation in the West Africa region right now? We looked at the data in the databases, the public databases of the genetic information about the virus, so the DNA sequence of the Mpox viruses that had been isolated. And we tried to identify targets in there, weak spots, if you like, that we could then use to make a vaccine. At the second workshop, we are now going to inject into the egg, put in the egg, essentially give it instructions, blueprint instructions, and get the egg to actually make those designs for us. So we designed these invisible molecular structures, but that are the right shape to stimulate a response. And we're going to harvest those from the egg, the fluids of the egg, and then analyze them further. And the number one question, of course, is if I take a little piece of something and I say, well, let me make it in an egg or some other system, then I want to know, does it behave the same way it does when it's on the surface of the virus, because that's what we want. We want it to look like the virus so that your body learns to recognize the virus.
African higher education institutions remain central to the continent's scientific future. They are spaces where knowledge is produced, talent is nurtured, and ideas are tested against real-world challenges. Their role becomes visible in practical terms as university leadership, researchers, and students worked together to support a process rooted in science, innovation, and public health relevance.
When you talk about the role of universities, of course, the first thing that will come to everybody's mind is, bringing the human resources, which is basically the researchers. Without researchers and then the research that will produce the vaccine, then I think we are doing nothing. So Nnamdi Azikiwe University is partnering and with Avrivast and is ready to bring that human resources that is needed for it, and then other resources. Of course, that is why we are giving you the facilities we have here that for this first workshop here in Nigeria. And we are ready to also give other resources. That shows that the university is interested in it and they are ready to put in whatever they can do to make it a success.
Vaccine development relies on a chain of expertise from virology, microbiology, laboratory practice, biomedical research, academic mentorship to scientific coordination. What stood out at PANDEMITHON 2026 was bringing these areas of expertise together to work through key processes, facilitate knowledge exchange, and deepen practical understanding of vaccine development through egg-based methods.
Persons that we are trying to bring together, there is the academia, there are the research organizations, there are the public health institutions, then government policy makers, because these are the people that will have to buy into the product. So virtually everybody can be involved so that we create a solution for a problem that we know is ravaging our continent as of today.
When I heard of the PANDEMITHON as a collaboration of sciences that are pursuing the design of a vaccine that is an issue for Africans, my supervisor gingered me to join and then contribute my expertise to the team. I have a background in medical laboratory sciences with a top-up in immunology, molecular biology, and parasite genomics. So since I saw it was an infectious disease venture, I thought that all of that can combine to help. For the infectious disease biology is to understand the infection, the mechanism, the pathogen, that's the organism that causes the disease in the living body. And then the immunology is to find out how your body responds to the disease-causing organism, that's the pathogen. And then the parasite genomics now looks at the genetic makeup or the DNA structure of the pathogen so that it can study it and develop substances that can actually go against it in its need.
My part in this was for the transfection, so to make sure that we have quality eggs for the transfection, to handle the eggs, make sure that we have fertilized eggs because we are trying to use the fertilized eggs for the transfection. And then I did the transfection of the eggs with the virus so to help us gain the seed for the production of the vaccine. For me, being the first time of having to do a master mix with the virus for the infection I'm not used to doing those master mix, so it was a bit of a challenge. And also, looking at the protocol we were using at the beginning, it was a bit of a challenge because because it's the first time I'm doing this particular one, I'm not used to it, so it was a bit of a challenge getting the head of it. But I think from henceforth, now that we've seen the bearings, moving forward with that part wouldn't be much of a challenge, should go smoothly. The only other thing I think was the eggs. The challenge was when they should make sure that the egg source are really fertilized eggs. If not, we might not get the number of eggs. The projection for the eggs might not be able to work properly. So they should make that the source of the eggs is really fertilized eggs. I think those are the only two things I think needs to be looked at.
Building sustainable vaccine development capacity means investing in the next generation now, giving them not only inspiration, but access, exposure, and practical experience. For many young participants, this was more than an educational experience.
Okay, what motivated me to join this workshop? I have actually been involved in what we call bioinformatics, which is using computer to do research, using computer to develop drugs. And so when I saw this, when I saw the advert for this, so it got my interest because it's going to involve wet lab experiments. So those things I've actually been using my computer system to do. It's actually time to see how it is used in real life to develop vaccines or develop drugs.
The connection of the protein, the coat protein with a linker to an epitope was amazing, and seeing how the protein was able to fold using the alpha fold during the online section in Ghana was really amazing. I think people should see that. It's incredible what we can do with computer these days. It's amazing.
The significance of PANDEMITHON 2026 goes beyond one session, one institution, or one experiment. It points to a bigger vision, one in which African institutions collaborate more intentionally, build stronger scientific ecosystems, and respond to public health priorities with greater confidence and capability.
We're already working with a number of organizations, and we'll continue to work with them. We'll continue to talk and continue to expand the horizon for everybody until we get a kind of consortium that is able to make these things faster.
When we just opened the doors and we called people to come, we had people come from all over the world to participate. The workshops are hybrid, so they're online and in person. So in terms of continuity, we've made use of the web to link these three events together. And as I said, those three events are really just the first three steps of a much longer process. Developing any kind of a human vaccine or human product, medical product, is something that takes time. It needs to go through regulatory processes. We need to walk side by side with the agencies in Africa that are responsible for ensuring the safety of medical products and so forth.
I would encourage people that are scientists like myself to actually be part of something like this, because one of the issues we face as Africans are funding, and most of our fundings come from inside. So if each and every person takes interest in this, we can be able to generate enough funding to actually have something like a proper vaccine development equipment.
Getting funding for experiment, this experiment costs a lot, because sometimes you do your first trial might fail, and so you have to do a couple more. So if there are sponsors out there who would be willing to help us achieve this goal of being able to have our own Mpox vaccine and any other initiative for vaccine production in general, equipment, reagents, all those things that are needed for it to be a success.
I would like to invite any scientists in the background of biomedical science, whether it's biochemistry, whether it's immunology, whether it's infectious biology, any part, if even it's marketing, business marketing, drug synthesis, anything that you can contribute, reach out to us on PANDEMITHON. You can find our website, you can find our flyers. Just Google us and then reach out to see where you can contribute.
PANDEMITHON 2026 showed what becomes possible when African expertise is trusted, connected, and given more room to work. From university leadership to researchers, students, and technical partners, the initiative reflected a strong foundation of knowledge, commitment, and the shared potential to build the future from within. And this journey is only just beginning. This has been Health Afrique, spotlighting African expertise, African research, and African-led responses to health challenges.